Welcome to the deep dive, where we take your sources, pull out the key insights, and basically give you a shortcut to being well informed. Today, we're diving into the latest from Cummins India Limited, looking at their recent financial results and some pretty important corporate news.
Exactly. And we're not just reading numbers off a page here. We want to understand what's driving the performance. What's the strategy? And importantly, who are the people, the leadership changes shaping where they're headed?
Right. So our mission today is to unpack those key financials, figure out the forces behind them, and look at the big corporate shifts. And all of this comes straight from the source. Company press releases, board meeting notes, and their detailed financials for the quarter ending June 30th, 2025. Okay, let's get started. Segment 1, the big picture. Q1 FY26 performance. What's the story in the top line? How did Cummins India do on sales for that quarter?
Well, the headline number is total sales of 2,859 crore. But what's really striking is the growth. I mean, that's up 26% compared to the same time last year.
26%. Wow.
Yeah, and it's also up 18% from the previous quarter.
Yeah.
So it shows really strong momentum continuing.
Okay. And where did that growth primarily come from? Was it domestic, exports, or a mix?
It was actually quite balanced, which is a good sign. The domestic market really led the charge, hitting 2,336 crore. That's a 25% jump year on year and up 21% just from the quarter before.
Okay, strong domestic performance.
Definitely. But exports were impressive too, 523 crore. Now, that's 34% higher than the same quarter last year and 9% up on the previous quarter. So yeah, healthy growth across the board.
That's a solid foundation. But strong sales don't always mean strong profits. How did they do on profitability?
Good question. Their profit before tax, and this is before any exceptional items, we'll get to that, was 726 crore. Again, strong growth here, 32% up year on year and 7% up quarter on quarter. It suggests they're, managing things efficiently.
Right, getting more profit out of those sales. And the bottom line, profit after tax.
Even better, actually. Profit after tax, the PAT, came in at 589 crore. That's a significant jump, 40% higher than the same quarter last year.
40%.
And 13% up from the previous quarter. So it really highlights strong performance translating all the way down.
Okay, you mentioned exceptional items affecting the profit before tax. Can you break that down? What was that about?
Sure. So in accounting, an exceptional item is usually something outside the normal course of business, often a one-off. In this case, it was a gain from selling a subsidiary they owned called Cummins Sales and Service Private Limited, or CSSPL.
Ah, okay. A one-time thing.
Exactly. The gain was about 12.59 crore in the consolidated results, that's the whole group, and a bit higher, 44.15 crore in the standalone results for just Cummins India Ltd. The key thing for you to remember is that CSSPL stopped being a subsidiary from April 1st, 2025. So while it boosted the reported profit, it's not part of their ongoing operational earnings power.
Got it. Important distinction. So
Yeah.
moving beyond the raw numbers, what did management say? Did the MD, Shweta Arya, comment on these results?
She did. She sounded quite pleased, obviously. She pointed to steady demand across markets and better execution of orders as key reasons for the revenue growth.
Better execution sounds like they're getting things done efficiently.
It seems so. And she specifically highlighted hitting a record quarterly profit. She attributed that to volume leverage and operational efficiencies.
Okay, volume leverage. That basically means as they sell more, their fixed costs get spread thinner, boosting margins, right?
Precisely. That, combined with active efforts on efficiency, suggests they're managing growth well from a cost perspective.
Makes sense. What about the wider picture, the economy? Did she comment on external factors influencing their outlook?
Yeah, she mentioned that inflation has eased somewhat in India, which is generally helpful. She did acknowledge some, uncertainties globally around tax and trade policies. But overall, the tone was optimistic about opportunities, particularly in India.
Why the optimism for India specifically?
Yeah, mainly due to what she called India's stable economy, which is being helped by the government's push on infrastructure spending. Plus, recent interest rate cuts are seen as supportive for growth, especially with lower inflation.
So given that backdrop, some global uncertainty but domestic strength, what's their strategy going forward? How do they plan to keep this up?
They're calling themselves cautiously optimistic. The plan seems to lean on their diversified product range, especially making sure products meet the latest evolving emission standards. That's crucial in their sector. They also stressed confidence in adapting to policy changes.
And internally, what are the focus areas?
It sounds like more of the same, in a good way. Continued focus on operational efficiency, managing costs carefully, staying close to customers, attracting good talent, and ultimately creating value for shareholders. They believe their tech access, brand reputation, product range, manufacturing, and service network give them a strong position.
Right, leveraging their existing strengths. The results also break things down by business segment, I believe. Engines and lubes.
That's right. Primarily two segments. Engines is the big one, covering Cummins India and other group companies. That segment brought in almost all the revenue, 2,858.71 crore, and generated 755.80 crore in profit before tax.
So clearly the core business. And lubes.
The lube segment represents their joint venture, Valvoline Cummins Private Limited. It contributed a healthy euro 643.16 crore in sales and 77.59
Crore in profit before tax. So while smaller than engines, it's still a significant and profitable part of the picture.
Good to see that diversification. Were there any other, maybe smaller corporate structural things?
Here's a bit. Beyond the financials, the board meeting had some big news on the leadership front, right? New directors appointed.
Yes, and this is quite interesting strategically. The board approved 2 new additional directors, effective August 9th, 2025.
Tell us about them. Who's first?
First is Mr. Thierry Bruno Pimi Nuyu. He's about 50 years old. He's joining as an additional director, but in a non-executive, non-independent role. That usually means someone with close ties or deep internal knowledge.
And his background.
He currently leads the DBU International Operations, that's Distribution Business Unit at the parent company, Cummins Inc. He's got over 25 years in power generation, manufacturing, mining, extensive experience, especially leading operations across Africa for Cummins. He even started there in corporate strategy way back in 2009. Plus, he's a mechanical engineer with an MBA, so he brings deep operational international market knowledge right from the heart of Cummins Global.
Okay, so deep international expertise. And the second appointment, Mrs. Vipa Paul Rishi.
Yes, and Ms. Rishi brings a very different but equally impressive profile. She's about 65. She joins as an additional director too, but crucially, in a non-executive and independent capacity for a 5-year term.
Independent. So bringing an outside perspective, what's his background like?
It's incredibly diverse. Started with Tata Administrative Service, was part of the original team that launched Titan watches, then spent 17 years in senior marketing and innovation roles at PepsiCo in India, the US, the UK. She was even on the founding team of PepsiCo India.
Wow, PepsiCo Titan.
Yeah.
Major consumer brand experience.
Exactly. Her expertise covers branding, strategy, new product development, global marketing, human capital,
You name it. Plus, she has significant board experience already with other big companies, serving on various committees like Audit, Risk, CSR. She even has an NGO background.
So putting it together. Okay, so let's recap. We've done our deep dive into Cummins India's Q1 FY26 results. We saw really strong growth in sales and especially profit, looked at the drivers like domestic demand and efficiency, touched on the business segments, and now the significant board appointments.
Yeah, paints a picture of a company performing well financially, navigating the economic environment pretty thoughtfully, and making some, well, very strategic moves to strengthen its leadership for what's next.
Absolutely. So as always, we like to leave you with a final thought, something to perhaps mull over based on everything we've discussed.
Right. So think about this. Cummins India keeps emphasizing its diverse product range, especially adapting to those tougher emission norms. Now, combine that with bringing in directors with deep international operational experience and extensive external marketing and strategy expertise. How might all these pieces, the tech focus, the internal know-how, the external market insights, come together to really reshape their competitive edge, maybe even their market share, in this rapidly changing global power solutions market over, say, the next few years? What specific innovations or maybe market pushes might they be gearing up for with this enhanced team?